But Roger, do you have any questions for us or any last thoughts about the chapter? Like any type of theories that you have for this?
Yeah, what do you guys think of the Snyder Cut?
I had a great time.
Genuinely, if you could wrap it up in like a sentence or two, like what do you think of it? I am genuinely
curious.
And I feel
James, go
on the
first.
Topic of heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Snyder Cut is near perfection. What it did is, yeah, that's me.
Okay.
I'm a huge.
I'm curious to have him on the show. I'm
a huge Snyder fanboy, but I think that he was able to actually give perfect characterizations to each member of the Justice League, so that once you got to the end, those team up moments and their motivations all made more sense than the theatrical cut. Steppenwolf is actually a character. He's not just some one-note villain. He's an antagonist that's trying to fight for his own freedom to get back into the good graces
50,000 worlds
of dark, right?
Yeah.
That was a big ass.
Yeah.
So it's like the stakes were actually as large as they needed to be. Characters actually had characterizations, and the 4 hours flew by to me. I thought the editing, the pacing was absolutely perfect. My only nitpicks of the movie, it has to do with the Aquaman stuff, and that's only because you can tell that WB never really had a plan as to what the rules of Aquaman would be.
Sure.
So that is my only real nitpick.
What was the thing that was like incorrect with the way that they set up Aquaman in the Zack Snyder cut versus the Aquaman film?
In Snyder's cut, the Atlanteans use air bubbles to talk. In Aquaman, they just talk underwater because that's what makes sense.
Sure, of course.
Mira doesn't have an accent in Aquaman.
That's right.
In the Snyder cut, her parents are dead, but in Aquaman, he's alive.
Sure.
So it's like those inconsistencies, and the biggest problem for me is that Justice League came out in 2017, Aquaman came out in 2018.
Right.
So there's no excuse why they didn't have meetings to make sure that the continuity was intact.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's my issue, and that's not Snyder's fault.
No. I feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna let everyone else talk, and then I'll give my opinions.
Roger, we definitely need to have you on the show, Villains.
So I'll go next in that case. So I won't say that it's perfection. I just feel like this is the best version of this movie. Like just in this encapsulated movie, this is the best version of this movie, which still has problems as we all saw. But I don't know. It brings up an interesting argument of like how these superhero stories can be told and why they do need kind of a more long form medium to actually tell a decent story. To be honest with you, like I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. Like that's why I'll tell you every time. I had a lot of fun watching the Snyder Cut. It's just I also thought it was really long. I'm not going front. Like I hit a certain point where I'm like, oh, okay, it's all right, cool, weird. Part 3 now, and I'm like, but there's still like 3 hours left.
I got to Act 2, and I was like, oh, this has only been an hour.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. I will say that they absolutely. Man. You could see that some characters had to take a back seat because they were more of the focus. That was Cyborg's movie, and I love that about it. It's just that then everybody else had kind of come in. I mean, there is a part where you can see this clearly could have been 2 movies. It hits the part where Batman goes, there are 5 of us, but there should be 6. Boom, credits, wait till the next movie, and then the whole next movie happens.
You could have done that. That's true.
That could have happened. And I'm like, so like from the start, they should have just let this happen. And like they should have just let these movies been what they were. And I feel like we all would have had a good time. They would have made a ton of money, and it would have been great. Because think about it, those 2 movies, that second movie would have come out about the time before, like, of Infinity War Endgame. Imagine how amazing that would have been.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, Justice League 2 would have been around.
The reason why this couldn't be 2 parts is that part 2 is supposed to be about Darkseid coming for what he's looking for, right?
Sure.
And the reason why I don't.
The whole 3rd movie, I think that would have been a 3rd one.
Well, there would have been a trilogy, right?
Yeah. It would have been a trilogy. That would have been the 3rd movie. Well, so it would have been sick. I think.
It's because the plan. It's because the plan of trilogy is going to involve.
WB's plan was to do a Justice League Part 1 and a Part 2. So there was never a plan for a Part 3. And the runtime doesn't bother me because some of my favorite films are Cleopatra, Gone with the Wind, the Lord of the Rings movies. Like, I love cinema. You guys know me. I'm a cinephile.
Of course.
Of course we know that.
You could sit and watch a movie forever. I know.
I would.
I know.
I'd rather watch a TV series.
It could have been 12 hours. I would get a pee bottle. I'm not pausing. I'm not leaving.
Oh, nah. I'm pausing. I'm going to the bathroom in my own crib. Hell yeah, I'm going to the bathroom in my own crib.
Had it been like 10 minutes over that 4 hours and 2 minute mark, I probably would have been like, I'll finish this later, and probably would have never finished. And that's just me. But like I said, I had fun, and that's about all I wanted. I wanted to have fun. That's it.
Right on. And
like James asked me, I think 2 days ago on the Night of Villains, he asked me the Avengers first movie or the Snyder Cut Justice League. I took some time to think about. I told James my answer that night, and I stick with my answer. Justice League Zack Snyder Cut versus over the first Avengers, because
I don't think that's a fair comparison. But
over the first Avengers, Avengers,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair comparison due to
how long this fucking movie is.
Well, not just that, but like due to the amount of extra weight Justice League was forced to carry by not having all the other movies beforehand. Because Avengers, you can watch Avengers and enjoy it because you've already spent time with all these characters. Justice League acts as exposition for literally half of them. In addition to, you have to have watched Batman versus Superman and understand all the stuff that went there too. So I don't necessarily think that's
it's got to completely characterize two characters you haven't even been introduced to, really.
Right.
So that's why I respect the Snyder Cut, and that's why I think it's kind of better than the first Avengers. Is that the first Avengers
had 4 hours to flesh out all of its characters.
And you're right.
Imagine the Avengers had 4 hours to bring all those people together after they scat, bro.
I mean, Avengers had hours and hours of movies to get to that point, and the Snyder Cut gave me characterization and motivations for all of these characters that didn't have their own movies before. So as a film, regardless of runtime, that's where it succeeds over the first Avengers. For me personally, but I get where you're coming from.
2 hours is what I'm telling you.
All right, so then,
definitely not. Definitely.
All right, so just to finish my thought of what I was saying,
go ahead.
Me being a big fan of Flash, me being a big fan of Teen Titans, knowing about Cyborg and everything, and being a big fan of the Batman lore of Nightwing and Batmanness of his character, I defended what it was with the Josh Whedon Snyder movie film years ago, not because it was bad or good, it's just because I was a fan of Justice League itself, the lore.
Sure.
But seeing Snyder cut this version, it made me love it more because we actually saw a film, good editing, good transition, seeing Lois Lane not just popping out of nowhere.
A whole ass movie. That's what we saw.
Right. Yeah, an actual movie. And I love that for that reason. And we see a motivation for each character, the Flash, knowing about the Speed Force, knowing that he needs to break this rule, knowing that he needs Cyborg having a reasoning about his father and everything. So I love this movie for that. I will give if you ask me about score, I'll give it a good solid 9 out of 10. The small things about Lex Luthor, his acting still bothers me and everything, his choices of how he acted, and
I preferred him at the end of this movie over the whole entirety of Batman vs Superman, but that's just me.
Same. Like he did improve some stuff. Yes. And the Joker, Jared Leto, best version of his Joker ever throughout this whole past things he has done. So Jared Leto.
Okay, I was like, of his Joker, sure.
Yeah, of his Joker. I say of his version of Joker.
Better than Cholo Joker with the grill on. It's like, that's better.
Yeah. His version so much better. That conversation with Batman in the whole nightmare sequence, amazing. So this film was definitely a 9 out of 10. I enjoy it. I will definitely watch it again in a watch party on Discord or whatever with anybody that wants to watch it again, or with James, because I know he wants to do a whole time commentary, a 4 hours too. That'd be a fun commentary. But definitely this one was really enjoyable as hell. Roger.
So I made you guys wait, so now I'm going to tell you. So I really, really hated the original Justice League. Like,
understandable.
Really hated it with a passion. Not only did I think it was a bad movie, but I feel like so much of the casting in that film, from Ezra Miller as the Flash to the stuff with, Lex Luthor, which carried over from, Batman vs Superman. There's a lot of casting decisions where I'm like, not only, sometimes you see a person cast and you go, that's a weird casting choice, but then you see the movie and you're like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. That was one where from beginning to end, and after I got into the cinema, I was like, I don't like these characters. I don't like this casting, and I don't know if I ever will. I feel like with that to work with, when you have a steaming pile of dog poop that was your original film,
big facts.
And that's what it was.
True.
I feel like the Zack Snyder cut is unquestionably a far, far better film.
Yep.
Pure perfection, I was sort of like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, same.
Hold on a minute.
Well, I said it was near perfection.
Remember
I
how
said
we were talking
near
about-
perfection.
Remember how we talk about biases between certain things?
Of course.
And that's
Now,
okay. I love James for that. He loves this stuff. He's passionate
I
about it.
love the DC characters. I always do. In fact, I like the DC characters more than the Marvel characters still, despite the fact we spent so much time with them.
Yeah.
I like characters like Batman more than, and his entire rogue gallery, than literally the entirety of the Marvel universe. Like, I would take Batman in the Marvel. Yeah.
The only person I would pick from the Marvel would be Black Panther over like Superman alone.
Yeah, Black Panther's cool. Yeah,
And Spider-Man. And Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man's all right too, sure. But like, I think
Superman every time.
with
in the comics wise.
I think the thing I appreciated is I appreciated that it was actually darker, that they decided to go, okay, everything's going to be a lot more epic. There's reasons for all of this. There's motivations for these characters. We actually got to spend time with Cyborg. I thought that was cool as well. You know, the moment with the Mother Box, Steppenwolf turning him into an actual character as well, I thought was good. Him being an alien instead of being like this dude with the horns or whatever before. Like, I like the fact that he actually is an alien. That whole sequence where like she beheads him and chops off the horn and then throws him through the portal.
Amazing.
That was awesome. And then stepping on him. That was sick. Like that was good. But I think my primary gripe with it, if I had two major primary gripes, one, I feel like it could have easily been 3 hours. Easily, if you just took out so much of the slow-mo. There's so much unnecessary slow-mo with the Flash where I'm just like, bro, this does not need to be here. Even in the sequence at the ending where they're running around
fast.
where he's looping around the facility, like near the end of the movie, it's literally
that's his
the exact
style.
same shot. He says the exact same thing over and over and over again. It's like you could have shown me that twice and I would have been good. Yeah. And so I feel like there's a lot of stuff like that, which is just trimming of the fat that would have made it a lot more like a much tighter movie. And I would have probably enjoyed it a lot more for that. The other thing too, and this is something I don't think I'm ever going to get over, I just don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. I think he's a really bad choice for Barry Allen. And I can't even really put my finger on it beyond like, I just don't really think he gets...
It's the way he's written, bro. I don't think it's Ezra because
so
that version is not Barry Allen.
It's not.
It's like some weird...
As Wally and Barry mixed together.
Like Wally
and with Bart
Barry
as well.
Sure, that Zack Snyder wanted to make. Like, it doesn't work.
It was fun to see him interacting with Aquaman and stuff like that. I think those scenes were probably my favorite scenes with the Flash, is the ones where he's actually talking. Or like, the scene where he points after Superman. Like, that was cool too.
That was amazing.
But I think on the whole, the other thing that sort of upset me about this is that, you know, we're never going to get a sequel to this. So all this stuff you're setting up with like Martian Manhunter and all this stuff with like
Roger,
you're literally never going to get this.
We are a hopeful podcast.
But the spoilers, guys, I apologize for that.
Away my hope.
No, but okay, but realistically, right? You've got Batman is now recast. He's Robert Pattinson. You got his whole other movie.
I'm okay.
Well, that's a different universe.
Yeah, there's a difference.
I don't see a situation in which Ben Affleck is going to come back to this.
So
it's possible.
So his contract,
Money,
hold up. His contract is up, and Walter Hamada has already confirmed that they're moving with a different actor. So that's already been confirmed.
So that's a different Batman then in this universe, even
in the DCEU, but the events of Zack Snyder's Justice League is technically not canon.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's a standalone now, is what I'm.
Yeah. So my guess is most likely they would just go off of the original Justice League and then make a sequel to that with a new Batman actor. But then at that point, it's like, why are you doing this? Just like let it die.
They have a scapegoat, the Flash.
It's like me and James have said before. DC / Warner Bros. Need to have a continuity head leader like Kevin Feige. They need to understand, like, what the fuck y'all gonna do? Like, where's your direction in your moves? Where's your direction in your storyline? Where are you heading with the stories of? Because you're gonna have a Green Lantern type of miniseries on HBO Max.
Max, right?
Yeah, but what is it for? Do you have a reason of why you're gonna launch it? Is there gonna have a reason to connect to the movies? Like, you guys could announce this type of series, but is it going to connect? Is it going to be a standalone? Like, there is no type of connection tissue, and that's important for these type of films. If you're going to have a much bigger, grander scale, like the whole MCU have been building for the past 12, 15 years now.
I'm okay with that because they finally realized that they can't be like the MCU, and they're doing the multiverse thing,
which is fine.
Matt Reeves's Batman trilogy has nothing to do with the DCEU.
Right.
Much like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, that's a completely different universe.
The
Green Lantern series is going to be a different universe.
That one thing I don't buy. I don't care how many times they say it. I don't buy it. I truly, truly believe Joaquin Phoenix's Joker will be in the Robert Pattinson Batman, probably as the end teaser, because we have clearly not seen anything Joker related in any of the trailers, teasers, anything of the Robert Pattinson one. This is very clearly a Riddler-focused movie. Some stuff
they're starting off with the Long Halloween.
Yeah, the Long Halloween.
So this movie is going to be about the Long Halloween. So you're gonna get villains like what's his name? It's not Clockman. That's I can't remember his name right now.
Calendar Man.
Right. The Riddler, and a bunch of other characters that showed up.
Yeah. I still part of me believes that in that universe, because they're obviously, if it's successful, they're going to want to continue, I think, doing another Batman trilogy similar to what happened with The Dark Knight. If people are liking Robert Pattinson as Batman, and maybe potentially not connecting it to the other DC movies outside of like a Flashpoint type deal thing. So if that's the case, I feel like because of how successful Joker was, like how astronomically successful that movie was, there's no way I see them not bringing Joaquin Phoenix back as Joker in some capacity. And I feel like Joaquin Phoenix and Robert Pattinson have both sort of proven themselves as like have been really good actors. And I think it's too lucrative an opportunity for them to pass up. And timeline-wise, you could easily have it be where Robert Pattinson, that is the same little kid we see in Joker. Right. That's the same little Bruce Wayne. I mean, it's the same thing. They could easily have that be the thing. So
I just think it's a separate universe because, multiverse is DC. They can do shit like that and be completely fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that, but I kind of want it to be separate,
like a standalone thing. I can see that. I want both.
Whereas, like the stuff, like the thing they never need to touch again. Don't ever bring back Jared Leto Joker, bro. Like I never need that. I never
see that version. No,
I'm gonna fight you.
I want the nightmare sequence because I believe in him. He did good. He did good in nightmare sequence.
You did not have enough time in Suicide Squad to get a real grasp of what that character is like. On top of that, that's not even Ayer's version. WB took over that movie,
right.
And whatever they wrote is not the actual Joker that it's supposed to be. No, so I would like
Zack
one
Snyder
more
Justice League Joker, I mean.
Exactly. I need that.
Yeah.
I want that version of him because that version of him was actually good. The dialogue, the way he laughed, the slow speaking.
I didn't like the laugh though.
Really?
Yeah, I still don't like the laugh.
I did enjoy. I don't know, like for me. That slow cackle and everything. I did enjoy for what it is.
The thing to me that still stands out, and this is with all the Zack Snyder DC movies, and it's just something I've come to accept. And this is not really like if he wants to take it in this direction, that's fine. But the moment for me where Batman says during that nightmare sequence, "Oh, and rest assured, I will fucking kill you." I was like, whoa, hold on a minute, Batman. Batman would never in a million years say that to Joker, ever.
Dark Knight Returns Batman would.
Dark Knight Returns, yes.
Affleck's Batman is based off of.
He is
in Dark Knight Returns, yes.
I will effing kill you, Joker, in the Dark Knight Returns. He says
yes, he doesn't say those words, but I'm trying to say that the character that they've built is so Dark Knight Returns.
There are so many different Batman.
Yeah, there's a lot of versions of Batman.
If we talk about Kingdom Come Batman, he murders everyone.
Of course.
Yes.
The idea of in a film, a Batman with a gun in a trench coat talking to a Joker and telling him he's going to and kill him, surrounded by Deathstroke and Mira and Cyborg in like this nightmare universe. It just, the whole thing to me came off, that sequence at least, is probably my least favorite portion of the whole Zack Snyder Justice League thing.
Also,
it comes off to me as like, this is an idea that I had that's never going to come true, and we just have this budget. Let's just throw it in here. I'm going to sort of do a little bit of a fan fiction at the end of this movie.
Yes, and no.
That's not fair though, Roger.
So I do want to add because
that's not fair because it was supposed to be canon. That was supposed to be canon before
it was.
Yes, before WB decided to eliminate what Zack Snyder was working on. All of that stuff is canon. The other thing that you have to think about,
that sequence was filmed after Justice League had ended, though. That's extra filler content.
That was supposed to
part 2 of the film,
off of the nightmare sequence from BVS.
Yes.
So all of that was technically supposed to continue in the Snyderverse.
And to add also
supposed to be in Batman versus Superman.
That was supposed to be the continuation from
of the storyline
from Batman versus Superman.
Got it.
And plus, this film did not really exactly what was going on because in the background of the nightmare sequence, it was showing the anti-life equation. The anti-life equation also takes the freedom of will and also change.
Fucking spoilers, Vash.
I know.
I know what that is. Don't worry, I know what that is.
No, but for the people in chat that haven't seen it.
All right. That's fine. Whatever.
In case they get into, I apologize. But
That's fine.
If
they haven't watched it at this point, that's their fault.
That's true.
Christ.
We're talking about My Hero podcast.
That's a huge spoiler, bro. Like,
all right, I apologize if you have not watched this film. If you've been here with us for the past 20 minutes of us talking about it, we're 20 minutes in the conversation of this movie.
James,
I think they should be gone.
That sounds like an excuse to me.
I didn't say it.
Anyway,
but
those people changed. Those people
ahead,
have different viewpoint after because of what I just said, the anti-life equation.
Yeah.
That they're different, Batman and everything, because that takes the freedom of will, and everybody are different. That's why Superman is like that, because he can control by Darkseid and everything. So that's why people are different in the personality.
Wrong. Lois is the key. Lois got murdered, and much like Injustice and other storylines in the comics, it's because of Lois's death Superman doesn't know what else to do, and Darkseid takes him under his wing.
Because it's much easier, because that's because of the anti-life equation control him.
It literally shows you that.
No, it has nothing to do with the
anti-life equation. You see the sequence with him holding, and then you see Darkseid behind him.
So what you're saying, James, is exactly what happens. Like Darkseid shows up and is like, hey, you ain't got nobody you can relate to at all. I'm here. This is what you should do. Look at what they let happen to you, essentially.
Yeah.
Yes, that has nothing to do with the anti-life equation.
No, it does not. It does not.
What Darkseid wants to do with the anti-life equation is to reboot life from the Big Bang and start it over where he's the ruler of all of the existence in the multiverse. So he doesn't need that to turn Superman. How he turns Superman is after Lois's death, he doesn't know how to cope, and Darkseid takes him under his wing.
Right.
That's what happens.
Right. Wasn't the whole thing too that like in the continuation of his story that it was going to be like Lois Lane and Superman's kid was going to end up being Batman at the end of all of it, and like
yes, that was
that's something that I heard. Yeah.
No,
I'm pretty sure I read it.
No, it's true, James.
That's why I brought it up, James.
James, this was in the storyline of the storyboard that Zack had in a whole whiteboard and everything.
I know.
Right.
And that came in an article.
That's what I was talking about.
So this whole thing that
I was like, wait a minute. I saw this on your timeline.
Yeah.
How do you mean? You're saying like, oh, I think so. It's like I know.
No. I saw the report and then I put it in, and I was like, I hate
it. Yeah. Anyway, bringing things back to My Hero Academia, real quick. To loop everything back around.
Yeah,
the last
because
thing I want to
Deku was
say.
standing like Batman at the end. There you go.
Yeah.
and Spider-Man and Superman.